All right, so Jermall, the Hitman Charlo, stops, or I should say, knocked out Julian J. Rock Williams in the fifth round with, man, it all started with that vicious uppercut in the inside that really pummeled Williams. And oh man, and then Williams made the ultimate mistake as a rookie. He should have, when he got up, he was clearly hurt. He should have held on, and instead of waiting for Charlo to burn out his energy, because that was not going to happen. He should have held on so that way he could sap some of his energy from throwing his punches coming in, so that way you can gather your senses and your fluidity after you're being hurt. But I can say the first round I gave to Charlo because, he was a little bit after. He was actually, good with his jab and his 1-2s, whatnot, with his combinations. And J-Rock had some little success in there too. But, again, I gave it to Charlo. Second round, Charlo hit J-Rock with a stiff left jab, and J-Rock went down, and he was hurt. Now, I was wondering about that. I was like, okay, was that an off-balance shot, or he just really got hurt by that hit? And when I looked at the replay on Showtime, it looked like he was really hurt. And I'm wondering, okay, is this guy chinny? Because it didn't seem that Charlo put enough snap into that jab. Yeah, so, it was a stiff jab, but it didn't seem like he put a lot of mustard to it, from my point of view. But anyway, J-Rock was able to recover from that round because he actually finished that round a little bit stronger than Charlo, even though I gave it to Charlo due to the knockdown. Is because he hit Charlo with a straight right, and Charlo was getting clipped by that, in the entire fight while it lasted. He was getting hit with those straight rights. He was getting hit with those counter rights by J-Rock, and J-Rock was actually coming back. I gave him round 3, even though it was a little close. I gave it to J-Rock. Round 4, I gave it to J-Rock. Then round 5, obviously, it was all she wrote from there. Now, leading up to this fight, there has been talk that Jermall Charlo was having very difficulty making 154, and his trainer and himself has stated that this will be his last fight at 154. He's going to go up to 160. He's going to go fight at middleweight. And the reason why he took this fight is because many people accused him of trying to avoid J-Rock. J-Rock was saying some things about him too that he didn't appreciate. Whatnot leading up to the fight, so the promotion was a little bit ugly. So he decided to go ahead and take on this challenge and give this young man a shot and just shut up his critics. And after the ref stopped the fight, J-Rock tried to go to his corner and congratulate him, and Jermall was upset. He wasn't, the emotions came to play. He's like, I'm just paraphrasing what he said to J-Rock. He said, "Fuck you, man. I'm not going to accept your apology." See, now I'm looking at it right now. They're arguing back there. Well, actually, now they're congratulating each other. Okay, they're squashing their beef. Okay. In the ring, he didn't want to accept his apology. Then it caused a little friction between the corners, and the crowd was booing Jermall. When he was giving his speech, his in-ring interview with Jim Gray, he was just trying to apologize and say, "Look, my emotions got in the way. I'm congratulate J-Rock for a good fight." He at the same time he turned around and says, "You know what? I'm not apologizing for him for what? He said some disparaging things to me leading up to this fight. I didn't say anything to the guy, And people accused me for ducking him, and I gave him a shot. So I'm just paraphrasing what Jermall said in the interview. I deserve my respect. So definitely, in fact, it was definitely a statement win for Jermall Charlo. Pretty much putting the middleweights on notice. Now, Jim Gray did ask him a question whether he's going to really consider moving up to middleweight. He was very vague with the answer, but then his brother came in the ring, Jermall. Jermall came in and called out Canelo Alvarez. He uttered his name, and then Jermall said that, okay, I would like to unify with Cinnamon Bun Canelo Alvarez, but Canelo's gonna go up to middleweight, so I don't, we'll see, because Jermall did look very. He looked he looked bigger than J-Rock. He obviously looked big for that damn 154 limit. Even though the scale said he came in at 158, but I think he looked bigger than that. I don't know. That just is to look at his frame. But, anyways, if he does go up to middleweight, which I believe he will because he has been struggling to get down on 154, I think he would make a play at 160. I think he would make, he would fare well against guys like Chris Eubank, Billy Joe Saunders. I'd definitely give him a chance of beating Billy Joe Saunders. Who's the other guys in there? Danny Jacobs. I don't know. That'd be a tough one. But knowing Danny Jacobs, I question Danny Jacobs' chin. I'm actually going to do the video on that one. But I will give Jermall some credit here because he took some hard rights from J-Rock and he shook him off. He can really take a punch. But the difference is he was fighting a 154-pound guy. Let's see how well he can take a punch against an actual middleweight who's bigger, stronger guy. So we'll see how that goes. Gennady Golovkin, that would definitely be a tough matchup. Yeah, that'd be a tough one to decide on that one. So, yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts are. And, of course, the crowd didn't really appreciate Jermall's attitude towards J-Rock. And they actually, when he walked back to the curtains, they threw some water at him and some objects. So, you know, up here in Cali. So it is what it is. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Care to comment, share, subscribe. Signing off. Peace.